Rishi Patanjali Yoga Sutra, part-1, Shlok number 21. Tivra Samvega Nama Sannaha. Success is speedy for the extremely energetic. Shlok number 22. Mridu Madhya Dhimatra Tvat Tato Api Visheshaha. The success of yogis differs according as the means they adopt are mild, medium or intense. Shlok number 23. Ishvar Prani Dhana Vada, or by devotion to Ishvara. Shlok number 24. Klesh Karma Vipakash Yair Para Mrishta Purush Vishesha Ishvaraha. Ishvara, the supreme ruler, is a special Purusha, untouched by misery, actions, their results and desires. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. We must again remember that the Patanjali Yoga philosophy is based upon the Sankhya philosophy. Only in the latter there is no place for God, while with the yogis God has a place. The yogis, however, do not mention many ideas about God, such as creating. God as the creator of the universe is not meant by the Ishvara of the yogis. According to the Vedas, Ishvara is the creator of the universe because it is harmonious. It must be the manifestation of one will. The yogis want to establish a God, but they arrive at him in a peculiar fashion of their own. They say, number 25th, Tatra Nirati Shayam Sarvagya Bijam. In him becomes infinite that all knowingness which in others is only a germ. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The mind must always travel between two extremes. You can think of limited space, but that very idea gives you also unlimited space. Close your eyes and think of a little space. At the same time that you perceive the little circle, you have a circle round it of unlimited dimensions. It is the same with time. Try to think of a second you will have with the same act of perception to think of time which is unlimited. So with knowledge. Knowledge is only a germ in man, but you will have to think of infinite knowledge around it, so that the very constitution of our mind shows us that there is unlimited knowledge, and the yogis call that unlimited knowledge God. Number 26. Da purve shamapi guraha kale nan vachedat. He is the teacher of even the ancient teachers, being too limited by time. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. It is true that all knowledge is within ourselves, but this has to be called forth by another knowledge. Although the capacity to know is inside us, it must be called out, and that calling out of knowledge can only be done. A yogi maintains through another knowledge that insentient matter never calls out knowledge. It is the action of knowledge that brings out knowledge. Knowing beings must be with us to call forth what is in us. So these teachers were always necessary. The world was never without them, and no knowledge can come without them. God is the teacher of all teachers, because these teachers, however great they may have been gods or angels, were all bound and limited by time, while God is not. There are two peculiar deductions of the yogis. The first is that in thinking of the limited, the mind must think of the unlimited, and that if one part of that perception is true, so also must the other be, for the reason that their value as perceptions of the mind is equal. The very fact that man has a little knowledge shows that God has unlimited knowledge. If I am to take one, why not the other? Reason forces me to take both or reject both. If I believe that there is a man with a little knowledge, I must also admit that there is someone behind him with unlimited knowledge. The second deduction is that no knowledge can come without a teacher. It is true, as the modern philosophers say, that there is something in man which evolves out of him. All knowledge is in man, but certain environments are necessary to call it out. We cannot find any knowledge without teachers. If there are man teachers, God teachers, or angel teachers, they are all limited. Who was the teacher before them? We are forced to admit, as a last conclusions, one teacher who is not limited by time, and that one teacher of infinite knowledge without beginning or end is called God. Shlok number 27. Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Every idea that you have in the mind has a counterpart in a word. The word and the thought are inseparable. The external part of one and the same thing is what we call word, and the internal part is what we call thought. No man can, by analysis, separate thought from word. The idea that language was created by man, certain men sitting together and deciding upon words, has been proved to be wrong. So long as man has existed, there have been words and language. What is the connection between an idea and a word? Although we see that there must always be a word with a thought, it is not necessary that the same thought requires the same word. The thought may be the same in 20 different countries, yet the language is different. We must have a word to express each thought, but these words need not necessarily have the same sound. Sounds will vary in different nations. Our commentator says, although the relation between thought and word is perfectly natural, yet it doesn't mean a rigid connection between one sound and one idea. These sounds vary, yet the relation between the sounds and the thoughts is a natural one. The connection between thoughts and sounds is good only if there be a real connection between the thing signified and the symbol. Until then, that symbol will never come into general use. A symbol is the manifestor of the thing signified, and if the thing signified has already an existence, and if by experience we know that the symbol has expressed that thing many times, then we are sure that there is a real relation between them. Even if the things are not present, there will be thousands who will know them by their symbols. There must be a natural connection between the symbol and the thing signified. Then, when that symbol is pronounced, it recalls the thing signified. The commentator says the manifesting word of God is Om. Why does he emphasize this word? There are hundreds of words for God. One thought is connected with 1,000 words. The idea God is connected with hundreds of words, and each one stands as a symbol for God. Very good. But there must be a generalization among all these words, some substratum, some common ground of all these symbols, and that which is the common symbol will be the best and will really represent them all. In making a sound, we use the larynx and the palate as a sounding board. Is there any material sound of which all other sounds must be manifestations? One which is the most natural sound. Om is such a sound, the basis of all sounds. The first letter A is the root sound, the key pronounced without touching any part of the tongue or palate. M represents the last sound in the series being produced by the closed lips, and the U roll from the very root to the end of the sounding board of the mouth. Thus, Om represents the whole phenomena of sound producing. As such, it must be the natural symbol, the matrix of all the various sounds. It denotes the whole range and possibility of all the words that can be made. Apart from these speculations, we see that around this word Om are centered all the different religious ideas in India. All the various religious ideas of the Vedas have gathered themselves round this word Om. What has that to do with America and England or any other country? Simply this, that the word has been retained at every stage of religious growth in India, and it has been manipulated to mean all the various ideas about God. Monists, dualists, monodualists, separatists, and even atheists took up this Om. Om has become the one symbol for the religious aspiration of the vast majority of human beings. Take for instance the English word God. It covers only a limited function, and if you go beyond it, you have to add adjectives to make it personal or impersonal or absolute God. So, with the words for God in every other language, their signification is very small. This word Om, however, has around it all the various significances. As such, it should be accepted by everyone. Hari Om Tat Sat. Yoga Sutra, part 1, Shlok number 28. Tajpast Darth Bhavanam. The repetition of this Om and meditating on its meaning is the way. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Why should there be repetition? We have not forgotten the theory of sanskaras, that the sum total of impressions lives in the mind. They become more and more latent but remain there, and as soon as they get the right stimulus, they come out. Molecular vibration never ceases. When this universe is destroyed, all the massive vibrations disappear. The sun, moon, stars, and earth melt down, but the vibrations remain in the atoms. Each atom performs the same function as the big worlds do. So, even when the vibrations of the chitta subside, its molecular vibrations go on, and when they get the impulse, come out again. We can now understand what is meant by repetition. It is the greatest stimulus that can be given to the spiritual sanskaras. One moment of company with the holy makes a ship to cross this ocean of life. Such is the power of association. So, this repetition of Om and thinking of its meaning is keeping good company in your own mind. Study and then meditate on what you have studied. Thus, light will come to you, the self will become manifest. But one must think of Om and of its meaning too. Avoid evil company, because the scars of old wounds are in you, and evil company is just the thing that is necessary to call them out. In the same way, we are told that good company will call out the good impressions that are in us, but which have become latent. There is nothing holier in the world than to keep good company, because the good impressions will then tend to come to the surface. Number 29th. Tate pratyay kretana dhig mopya ant raya bhavascha. From that is gained the knowledge of introspection and the destruction of obstacles. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The first manifestation of the repetition and thinking of Om is that the introspective power will manifest more and more. All the mental and physical obstacles will begin to vanish. What are the obstacles to the yogi? Number 30. Vyadhityan sanshaya pramadalasya virati bhrantir darshana labd bhumi katva na vastit tvani chit vikshepa te anya raya. Disease, mental laziness, doubt, lack of enthusiasm, lethargy, clinging to sense enjoyments, false perception, non-attaining concentration, and falling away from the state when obtained are the obstructing distractions. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Disease, the body is the boat which will carry us to the other shore of the ocean of life. It must be taken care of. Unhealthy person cannot be yogis. Mental laziness makes us lose all lively interest in the subject, without which there will neither be the will nor the energy to practice. Doubts will arise in the mind about the truth of the science, however strong one's intellectual conviction may be, until certain peculiar psychic experiences come, as hearing or seeing at a distance, etc. These glimpses strengthen the mind and make the student persevere, falling away when obtained. Some days or weeks when you are practicing, the mind will be calm and easily concentrated, and you will find yourself progressing fast. All of a sudden, the progress will stop one day, and you will find yourself as it were stranded. Persevere. All progress proceeds by such rise and fall.